Limb phases. What limb phases is, let me see if I can remember. This is how much, oh yeah, the limb phases, this is how much of the, I guess, the offset between the legs. You can see there's 2 for the legs and 2 for the arms, and if I put these together, it'll create like a hopping thing. You can see now they're moving together, both the legs. So, I mean, it's maybe not so useful. Same thing with the arms. If I put them together, they should be kind of moving more in unison. Whereas if I move them farther apart, then I think they're more offset. You can also do things like if we want to, let me find the head, because, you know, I can see that my head is kind of swaying quite a lot, and I don't really want that. I think this is my head. So if I decrease the scale on this, let's make it 0. See how that affects. You can see I believe I adjusted the roll on the head. See, now it's kind of twisting a bit. Let's see if we put that to 0. Now you can see I put both the twist and the roll to 0, and now her head doesn't move at all. It moves basically how we want it to. And you can do this for all the rest of the, like somewhere, I don't know why it's named hub 1 and 2. I think somewhere I forgot, I renamed it wrong, and somewhere if I find these hubs, like, then it should be named more properly. But you know, I was just trying to find somewhere there's, this might be it. So if I set everything to 0, it's pretty much, it should, like if I were to do all the arms and everything at 0, then it should just be a more flat, like, animation. It shouldn't have all this, like, there's a collarbone. Yeah. So like I said, I mean, it's cool to see, to create like a walk cycle like this, and it's really fast and easy. But it might even be easier if you just want to custom animate it, which I'm going to show you how to do now. So let's just delete my cat motion for now. We can always do that layer. Now what I'm going to add is an absolute layer. Now absolute layer, yeah, I don't know, it's just your basic animation layer. I don't exactly know why it's called absolute, but it just is. So what I can do is, let's just kind of test something here. Let's say I want to make like a run and then like a walk cycle. Let's try something like that. I'm gonna actually auto key this. Alright, so So now I have my really junky looking walk cycle, or let's make that our run cycle. And now if I go to my motion panel, you can see that, and I'm going to name this run cycle. Now if I create a new absolute layer, which I'm going to do, you should see, yeah, you see nothing happening. The reason being is because when you create a new absolute layer, it overrides this last one with 100% of the global weight of the animation, meaning that it's basically taking over 100% of the animation. And I'll show you after. Let's just create a quick walk cycle on this layer, which we'll just we're just not going to move it as much. And I again apologize for my very simplistic animations. And then if I click both of these, select that one, and then shift click to 30, then goes back. And you can see it kind of creates a smooth loop when we always end where we start, which is kind of what we want. Alright, so now let's say, okay, now when I go to back to the motions panel, so this one's going to be run, this one's going to be walk, and the previous one we made, which is run. Now what we can do is we can blend these together. So one way to do this is to use this mode, which you can see how this is pink and now this is pink, and I have this which is like rig coloring mode. This is saying that it's 100% right now. If I change this global weight to 50, you can see it's somewhere in between the pink and the blue colors, which means that it's actually about halfway in between the run and halfway in between that walk. So you can see as I change the global weight, here's the walk, and then I can change it to 0, which then the blue takes over 100%, and then then it does the full run cycle. Why is this useful? Well, I think it's useful because, you know, it'll be an easy way for us to keep track of our animations. So we can put all our animations in here and then just, you know, make one 100%, and that will be the one we want to show. And so if we were to do like we've been doing before, where we want to put all our animations in the main timeline, which I think is a good way of doing things. What we can do is we can also keyframe this global weight. I think I need to have auto key on for this. I don't think I can set key. So here it's 100%, and now let's make this 100%. And you can see, and then it's going to go back over here, and then we're going to make down to 0. So you can see we can actually animate the weight over time. But, you know, actually, I just kind of want to show you guys how this works and how powerful it can be. But I think, you know, for most of the blend weight things, we'll be doing that more in like Unity, because we can program that and we can make it interactive. Unity also does a lot of this percentage type of stuff where we can blend the weights. And I'm planning on making a tutorial on that this week. You know, hopefully I can figure it out this week and I can get you guys a tutorial so we know how to go from here to Unity. Now I think pretty much the last thing I want to show you is just how this works in Unity. So we have all that. One more thing I want to mention is we also have what's called these local and then world layers. Now I think the world is more useful. I think most people use the world. That's just what read online, and I don't honestly know the difference between the two. But if you choose the world, this is an adjustment layer, which means instead of this one, you remember we created a new one and it took over 100% of the animation. This one doesn't do that. It just means that we can make adjustments to the layer above it, I believe, or whatever layer is on there. So this is good for like fine-tuning. So let's say, okay, so we have this animation. Now if I add an adjustment layer, I believe, I haven't worked with this so much already, but I believe we should be able to, let's say if we want to take our adjustment layer and then add something there, then, you know, then it kind of combines it. So it just adds a bit more to the animation. So if you also wanted to, say, start with the catwalk cycle and then make adjustments from there, you could add world adjustment layers and just kind of add those on until you get the kind of animation that you want. So now that we have this, let's bring it into Unity. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save it as my max file. And I just want to test it real quick. I want to see if we get any errors, which we should actually. Yeah, and this non-orthogonal matrix support, that's the error I was talking about. And apparently it's on the left hand in bow, so what we need to do is we need to reapply some X forms there. But I'm not going to do that right now, but I'll come back and do it later. And this is just warning you the geometry conversion. This basically just means that it's taking all those bones that you created, because that are kind of technically a mesh, I think, and it's going to create them to bones. And so I don't think we have to worry about that, really. And it seems to work fine in Unity, so if Unity's happy, I'm happy. Alright, and one more thing I want to add before jumping into Unity is that the IK for the arms isn't always automatically in place. It's kind of weird. It's like when you're in stop mode and you move it around, you can see I can move that a bit unnaturally how we want to. When I'm in play mode, then it actually moves okay. But if you want to just go ahead and add an IK to it, what you can do is you can click on the arm and then click on limb animation, click on create IK target, and that you'll see a little IK handle here. And then I'm going to click on move IK target to palm, and this is probably, you can probably match it to something else if you want to, if you need to, for a different IK. And then what you have to do is you have to move this slider. Right now this is in complete FK mode, and so I want to go ahead and move that over to IK. And now you can see now it behaves like an IK should. So that's the last little trick I wanted to show you before jumping into Unity. So now let's do that. And actually, and one more thing I just want to show you, which is kind of cool, before we jump into Unity, is with this cat rigging, because they have so many different models. Like, let's take, let's try the dragon out. I haven't seen him yet. So we can create a dragon model. And again, it's easy to, I mean, yeah, this is a very specific type of dragon, but I'll send you a link to some other videos. And it's not hard to create even like a more creature style type of rig. You know, this we made a more human one. But like the creature ones are pretty easy too. You know, instead of adding arms, you add like another leg. And I'll tell you, I watched a good video tutorial on that, which is pretty cool. But I'm just going to add a cat rig to this guy, play it, and then let's see what he does. See, now we have like a dragon-like animation. It's going to up the frame count here.